For those without knowledge or cultivation, an essay on Oscar Wilde's selected works, a treasure box filled with sharp wit and the wisdom of life. Hello. Are there people out there who cringe at the mere mention of books, or who believe that difficult texts are far removed from their lives? I imagine many are hesitant before the bookshelf, thinking it's filled only with musty old tales or impenetrable philosophical musings. But today, I'd like to introduce you to a special guide that will show you how books are by no means dull or difficult. This is none other than Oscar Wilde's selected works of Oscar Wilde. The name Oscar Wilde may be unfamiliar to you, and even if you've heard of him, he might seem to belong exclusively to the realm of the erudite and refined. However, surprisingly, Wilde transcends time, piercing our hearts and prompting us to reflect on life with humor and wit. He is, in essence, a gem of a writer. Through his works, you'll vividly experience that cultivating knowledge and refinement isn't a grand task but rather a simple way to enrich and diversify your everyday life. 1. The magic of words: a sharp mind and a lack of boredom. Have you ever grown weary of cliched stories or tired thinking? Oscar Wilde excels at overturning what we take for granted and offering a fresh perspective with piercing insight. His works are like well-cut diamonds, sparkling with wit and surprising paradoxes. Statements such as, "Life is far too important a thing to be taken seriously. Experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes. I can resist everything except temptation." Initially, these sentences may make you chuckle, but upon rereading, you'll be amazed by the profound truths they contain. Wilde humorously and concisely conveys that approaching life too seriously can obscure its essence, and while learning from others' experiences is valuable, the most profound lessons often come from personal mistakes. Reading Oscar Wilde's works feels like having a conversation with a smart and delightful friend. He shows us overlooked aspects of life and delivers fresh shocks to our fixed ideas. This is not an exercise in intellectual vanity, but rather a journey that broadens one's view to see the world in a more colorful and fascinating way. As you follow Wilde's wit, your mind will become clearer, and you'll find yourself generating brilliant ideas or witty expressions even in everyday conversations. I'm confident that even those who find reading difficult will find themselves effortlessly flipping through Wilde's pages, simply enjoying the ride. 2. The courage to remove the mask: insights on hypocrisy and conformity. The Victorian era in which Wilde lived valued strict morality and etiquette on the surface, yet underneath, hypocrisy and irrational social norms were prevalent. His plays, such as The Importance of Being Earnest or Lady Windermere's Fan, sharply satirize this double-faced nature of society. Through the dialogue of his characters, who appear respectable and refined, Wilde unveils their entanglement in superficial motives and appearances. Through Wilde's works, you'll come to realize that the hypocrisy and vanity of the past are not confined to history. Today, our lives still reflect these same tendencies. We are often driven by others' opinions, wear masks that hide our true selves. The perfect lives displayed on social media, the situations where we cannot voice our honest opinions for the sake of appearances, and the double standards people display, all mirror the very social issues Wilde satirized. Wilde criticizes this hypocrisy but does not stop at mere criticism. He challenges readers to question their own lives. What does the true self look like? How much of our lives are bound by society's unreasonable standards? Wilde's works inspire courage. They help us discover the strength to be honest with ourselves, challenge outdated social conventions, and reflect on what genuinely matters in life. Reading these works could be the first step toward a deeper understanding of yourself and the world. 3. Praise for individuality and embracing one's true self: a journey to discover yourself beyond the gaze of others. Oscar Wilde himself was a living embodiment of individuality. His unique fashion, fearless words, and unwavering conviction about art made him both an icon and an outcast of his time. In his works, he consistently emphasizes the importance of individuality and self-expression. Statements such as, "Life is far too short to be spent imitating others. Self-love is the beginning of a lifelong romance." These lines awaken the value of living authentically, free from the pressure of conformity. Many people struggle to meet societal expectations, but Wilde highlights how this pursuit can be exhausting and ultimately unhappy. He argues that each person has their own unique beauty and individuality, and it is through discovering and embracing this uniqueness that true happiness begins. Reading Wilde's works is also a process of self-reflection. Questions like, what do I truly want? Who do I want to be? And can I exist fully as myself without the influence of others? Are vital in making life more meaningful and fulfilling. Learning to listen to your true inner voice instead of societal expectations through reading can be a more valuable experience than simply gaining knowledge or cultivation. 4. The beauty and art of life, finding joy in the everyday. Oscar Wilde pioneered the aesthetic movement, advocating for art's sake. At first glance, this might seem an academic and lofty concept. However, applying this philosophy to our lives can yield fascinating insights. Wilde encourages us to treat life itself as an art form. This doesn't mean that one must create grand works of art or possess special talents. Rather, it refers to recognizing beauty in everything around us and nurturing our lives in our own unique ways. Enjoying a beautifully arranged meal, wearing clothes that bring us joy, listening to beautiful music, and finding happiness in a single flower or even in a small decorative item we find unnecessary. All of these are part of Wilde's concept of the art of living. In our busy lives, we often overlook these small joys. Yet Wilde's works remind us how important it is to pause and appreciate the beauty around us, and to allow ourselves the small indulgences and satisfactions that bring us happiness. Cultivating knowledge and cultivation is not merely about filling our minds with rigid academic facts. It encompasses all experiences that enrich and beautify our lives. If you learn to awaken your aesthetic sensibility and discover hidden beauty in daily life through Wilde's works, your life will become more vibrant and colorful. 5. The truth beneath the surface, deep reflections on human nature. Wilde's works go beyond witty anecdotes and social critiques. Through his only novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, he delves deeply into the dark and complex inner worlds of human nature, raising profound questions about outward beauty versus hidden ugliness, desire, guilt, and redemption. This isn't just the story of a fictional protagonist. We, too, are not perfect and often have parts of ourselves we'd rather hide, dark and vulnerable elements. Wilde does not shy away from these contradictions and shadows within human nature but encourages us to confront them directly. Through his works, we come to understand how complex and multifaceted human beings are and how important it is to strive for empathy and understanding of others' inner lives. For those who find reading difficult, selected works of Oscar Wilde is not just an intimidating philosophical text but rather a collection of fascinating stories that offer the keys to a deeper understanding of yourself and others. Reading Wilde's works prompts you to ask yourself profound questions about human nature and makes the journey toward answering them a meaningful step in acquiring knowledge and cultivation. Conclusion: a book, a small adventure that changes your life. For those who have kept books at a distance, selected works of Oscar Wilde offers a truly magical experience. At first, you'll laugh at his witty jokes, then marvel at his sharp insights, and finally immerse yourself in deep reflections on life and humanity. Approach reading Wilde's works not with the compulsion to learn something, but instead with the simple mindset of enjoying them. His humor and wit will soften the rigidity in your heart, and his insights will broaden your view of the world. His unique life and works will awaken the dormant true self within you. Oscar Wilde's works are more than just reading material. They are a small adventure that can infuse life into your existence and transform you into a more flexible and wise person. I dare say this adventure will be neither difficult nor boring. Open his books now and experience firsthand how much richer and more colorful life can become. This is the most beautiful gift you can receive under the name of knowledge and cultivation.